till I give it up. Guess if you want the fade, like Bob's never talking shooting pucks. If it's up, then it's up. He ran up on the plug. Now he in a coma. Fucking with they drugs. Young, you a goner. Don't listen to these rappers. Like return disaster. So it's a prison cell. What you chasing after? Pennies that you popping. Only numb the pain temporary. Take enough of it. They'll read obituary. Bro, you want some fiend shit. Niggas acting scary. Niggas in your crew. Using this shit yearly. We don't say shit. They call him your brother. You just make hits. Don't mean that they love you. You why they make rent. Control you why they drug you. And what's being here? Pop died, Nip died. Shit, I ain't got nothing for you. I ain't let shit slide. Not even from my lawyer. Ask me why I get high. Cause ain't no opportunities for me. So I'ma dump it until they employ me. What you mean when your friends die? Poppin' Sandy's in the lean just to get by. Trying to stuff it in the lead just to get high. Trying to get by. Ask you what you mean when your friends die? Poppin' Sandy's in the lean just to get high. Tucking trees inside the lead just to get high. Get high. This is all my smokers. Get high. Shout out to all my sniffers. Get high. All my pill poppers. Get high. What up, good morning. Porn telling conscience. Get high. For the ones that use the needle. Get high. Getting high like you a beetle. Get high. Rock star and is illegal. Get high. We don't give a fuck, we just get high. What's good this morning? See everybody chopping it up. Good morning, convo. This morning I want to tap in with y'all about something that I think is super important that they're not speaking about, and this includes Raleigh. This includes Raleigh especially, and like a lot of towns. And last night I kind of stumbled across this information about how like these let's say like in Fayetteville, North Carolina, where there's an army base, right? Or let's say there's airports in your city or places like that, right? There's places where tripping, yeah. Ooh, that should be able to hear me now. But yeah, there's places where let's say there's an airport, an army base, or something like that close to you in the city you live in. Then 9 times out of 10, the city infected. Now, in certain places out in Texas where is an army base, right? And they spray this shit like this foam that they clean the airstrips with, and they clean like the runways with. And what they do is they clean the runways and shit, and then they push it. They basically wash it and dump it into like wells and creeks or into the ground, and the ground take it and they go in. So if y'all not familiar where, there's a lot of groundwater. Like if the oceans dry up or the lakes dry up, like if the Mississippi River dry up and shit, there's still groundwater in certain areas. You know what I'm saying? So what it is that these chemicals from these military bases, they done seeped into the groundwater, which eventually gets into our drinking water in different ways. Right? So in Texas and Raleigh, like basically was testing these chemicals in our water, they odorless and they tasteless, but they cause cancer and shit. You know what I mean? So it's a couple people in like Texas, for example, who she was drinking water as a little girl, and then when she got older, she ended up getting diagnosed with a rare cancer. Her doctors took a sample of her water and connected the cancer to the water, the chemicals in the water. So starting in like 2014, all of the water places started hold on, yo. All of the water treatment plants in Raleigh and all over, they started testing for this shit. Like for this shit, like this material that they wasn't supposed to be in our water, but it got in our water. So they started testing for it, and a lot of places did test positive, but they didn't tell the public on the news. They said something about it, but like it's more like they just put it up on their websites and shit. Like we got to realize in America they real slick about the shit they do. They don't always tell us. They just like they be forced like the government to make them go public, but as long as they put it on their website and on a page that nobody clicks on, or on a pamphlet in the back on the middle of the book somewhere in little writing, it don't matter. But that's what's happening. So last night I was wondering, I was like, yo, let me look up Raleigh. You know what I'm saying? And I looked up Raleigh, and it said that They had did the testing in Raleigh in like 2011, 2012 the first time, and they didn't find they didn't find anything, right? But also the technology at the time could, they was only looking for a certain type. Well, they figured out that that this shit has many forms, and so they tested again in 2018, and they found 4 types of this type of shit in the water in Raleigh, or like in different places like Jersey and mad major cities, and like Fayetteville probably affected the most because that's where the Army base is and shit. You know what I'm saying? In Durham, that's where the airports is. You know what I'm saying? And this solution helps clean shit, but they knew. And so instead of the government regulating these niggas and making them, do what they supposed to do, and making them clean this shit up, just like, the spills at BP in the water, they kind of just did whatever. It's kind of like fracking and shit. So I was looking up last night, and in Raleigh, in 2019, they tested and they found 4 of these shits in our water, like 4 traces of this shit in the tap water in Raleigh. Now, me personally, I don't drink tap water, and I haven't drunk it for years, but it's easy we can say that, but then you got to realize last night, like, damn, when we be cooking and shit, we use tap water. If we boiling something, right? If we making rice 9 times out of 10, niggas using tap water, not bottled water. You know what I'm saying? We feeding our dogs, we feeding them this tap water, not bottled water. So I was like, fuck. So it's like now I then got to feed my dogs bottled water because this water is linked to like 6 types of cancer. And Raleigh is not the worst, but they do have 4 types of this shit in the water treatment plants that they found. Now, it's technically not safe to drink the water anymore, anywhere. You feel me? So I always tap in with y'all to give y'all some current events, because I think that y'all should know and should be paying attention. Because everybody who be sending their kids to school and they be drinking water and all that shit, you know what I'm saying? Don't be surprised. This shit'll give you nerve damage and cancer. But we should have known this already. You had the fracking in Michigan and Detroit, where they can't drink it. They water come on, if they light that shit on fire with a match, all the water catch fire. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of cities around America that can't drink their water. You know what I mean? And I think it's only a matter of time. Like our governments, and I didn't say the government, the state governments. Let me say it clear. If we learned nothing since the pandemic, is that the president and the federal government don't have no fucking power, really. They do, but they don't. The state gotta want to listen. The state's governors and them do what they want. So just like when it comes down to business, it's some shit that they know against the law, but they'll get paid a couple million to not say nothing while they in office. Meanwhile, this shit going on with these chemicals and shit. So it's just a public service announcement to all my people that be tapped in about this water that we drink in, this faucet water. And I intentionally checked in Raleigh and New Jersey and certain other places, and the truth is that it's in our water. The same chemicals that gave that lady cancer. You know, I'm gonna post a link on my story about it. You know what I'm saying? Because it got a name. I don't want to give you the wrong name because I don't remember completely, but you know what I'm saying? It's a name for this shit. But I think it's crazy because I used to always feel like that because I grew up down here. Then I moved back to Jersey at like 10. And when I moved to Jersey, the water tastes different. And I never forgot that shit. And then when I lived in Virginia, the water tastes different. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just kept bugging me out that water tastes different in every state. You know what I'm saying? It was hard for me to drink water in New Jersey for a minute because I was used to Carolina water. And the water tastes different in New Jersey. You know what I'm saying? So it was just weird. And that's why I say, remember, it's odorless and scentless. So that means that the people that designed this shit, they knew that they was going to, think about it. When I designed this chemical to clean certain shit off the runways and the airstrips and shit, then it's going to clean the runway, but they made it to where the shit would be odorless and scentless and be able to seep into the water so that it would take us 20, 30 years before it would be detected. And that's the thing about these corporations. They don't give a fuck about what we're doing. You know what I'm saying? So I pray that y'all pay attention because this water, this tap water that we drinking across the country is cancerous. You know what I'm saying? And I tell people this all the time. Like, I don't drink tap water. You know what I'm saying? Shit, I hate to say it like that, but let me tell you the deeper level on it. Even if you don't drink this water and you bathe in this water, it's the same shit. That's what's sick about it. You say, well, I ain't gonna drink the water. Well, we bathe in this shit. And this shit is going into our pores. So regardless if we drinking it or if it's going into our pores, either way, you feel me? And that's what's sad is they don't give a fuck about nothing. And then it's like, you could boil the water, it ain't gonna help you. It says they trying to kill us before we before we collect all the Social Security taxes we paid in. That's right, bro. You know what? The proof of that is this Corona shit. All of the people that's older, they the reason why the country's still running for the money they've been paying their whole life. And now they killing them left and right. So it's just like, that's why I say they told us there won't be no Social Security of our generation. They told our generation when we get older, there ain't gonna be no Social Security. So my question is, why are we paying it then? Don't tell us we ain't gonna have no Social Security for us. When we get older, they ain't gonna have no money for us. And why the fuck is we paying it then? You know what I'm saying? But the truth is, we should know that at a historical level, that outside of the last, 50, 60 years, 70 years, the government in America never did that. Most countries, a country that's successful is only successful because the people are efficient. Meaning that the country, a country that's ran self-sufficiently, meaning that the better that the people are that's farming, the average people growing things, you know what I'm saying, cattle, you know what I'm saying, sewing, clothing, you know what I mean, shit like that, then that economy is going to boom because that economy is efficient. When the government of America started taking over these businesses, you know what I'm saying? What the fuck is he talking about? See, that's what I be saying. Let me tell you something about Raleigh. These niggas cannot drive. I'm in a turning lane, right? I gotta change. I'm in a turning lane, 2 turning lanes, and 3 straight lanes. Why the fuck is he beeping his horn at me and he in a straight lane? But nobody get it though. Niggas be like, yo, niggas be tripping. Like, no, niggas can't drive out here. You know what I'm saying? You gotta drive for yourself and other people. But I want y'all to pay attention to this shit. That's what's going on. Like, we gotta be mindful of shit right now. If you a man, you know, if you a man, you under attack. You know what I'm saying? If you a straight male, you under attack right now. It's almost, if you straight, it's a problem. If you got kids, you under attack right now. We sending our kids to school like right now. You know what I'm saying? My son, he go to a damn like a school for like gifted minds, right? So his school big, but it's not that big. But it's like we all got to make choices. Like, I really don't want to send him to school because of the Corona shit. But I also know him being so gifted that I watched him kind of like flop with being at home. You know what I'm saying? But we got to be careful. You know what I'm saying? Another thing is that I've been telling y'all is that, yo, don't let them lie to you about this Corona shit. All of this shit crazy. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of shit that we're going to have to recognize that is bullshit that they telling us about the origins, where it's coming from, how it's spreading, because they keep making it seem like it's a war on the unvaccinated, the people that's not vaccinated causing a pandemic, and that's not true, because there's just as many people with the vaccine who getting sick than without it. You know what I'm saying? And they want to make it seem like, oh, I got my vaccine, so I'm glad I had my vaccine, and I'm not knocking it. That's what saved me. You know what I'm saying? But it's not a cure. You know what I'm saying? So I always try to keep us mindful of this shit, and that we have to be more educated. Like, look, yo, some people be like, bro, you a rapper. Like, look, you right, but I'm a man first. You know what I'm saying? And I care about what's going on. There's not enough people like me that come up here and speak on these topics. You know what I mean? Whether if it causes arguments or whatever, but we have to be very, very. We have to be intellects. We got to be intelligent. We have to know what it is that's killing us and our kids in order for us to be right, in order for us to live longer. You know what I'm saying? Because we're dying faster. You know what I'm saying? We got jail, we got prison, we got diseases, you feel me? And then we got this fucking coronavirus, and then we got all the rest of these obstacles that we already got to face, you feel me? Let me read some of these messages. It says, don't send your child to your school. School is where dreams go to die. No, I feel you. You know what? It sounds crazy, but a lot of people, homeschooling is the issue. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people are homeschooled if they got to. You know what I'm saying? But not all kids. The crazy part is not all kids can learn that way. Like, some kids learn better in a social environment. Some kids learn better by themselves. Like the oldest, that nigga get straight A's when he was at home. When he was in school, he didn't get that shit. So clearly he don't need to be in school. He needs to be like self-taught. I mean, he need to be taught where he got somebody checking him. You know what I'm saying? But he don't need to be in the classroom. I agree, but I wish that I could, because I felt the same way, Khalid. I just know that, like, if you got parents, if you work and you busy and you can't sit there and be on your kids, then you gonna hurt them more than you helping them. You know what I'm saying? And then if we all supposed to be homeschooling technically in some sense. I mean, I agree with you 100%. And you know what I'm saying? I won't even make no excuses because we all as parents supposed to be raising our kids and homeschooling them to the best of our ability. But this government keep us so busy, especially the people that go to work that they can't, they can't really find. We don't have the time technically to do this shit. You know what I'm saying? So that's one of the reasons why they keep us busy. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, they're not teaching the children shit anyway. I mean, nah, you right. I couldn't even lie though. I mean, as parents, we all should be teaching our kids, but the question is, do we got time? And do we got time to put our shit aside to make sure our kids are straight? Because we done got selfish as adults and shit. So, but I agree. You know what I'm saying? It ain't even that you wrong. Like you said, like sending kids to school is stupid. I mean, it technically is. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy because, I went to the kids and I asked, I said, yo, how y'all feel about school now? In reality, all the kids, like, want to go back to school. The reason being is during that shit that happened at Harvard, where they did that shit to the Unabomber, and also they saying that not just him that turned into a serial killer, but also Charles Manson. They said that he went to these educated men that went to like Harvard, and they saying that he was a part of that experiment as well. And then he turned out to be a serial killer. And what they did was every year they was in college, whatever dreams they had, they told them it was stupid, and they basically told them negative shit every day. And so what we learned is that when we keep kids or young mature minds isolated and away from other people, the studies show that we create serial killers and psychopaths. You feel me? So or mentally undisturbed, like Corona did a lot of damage to these kids emotionally. And at first I was like, whatever, but I seen these kids, not just kids in the crib, but like I seen other kids suffer. You know what I'm saying? I seen the intellectual kids kind of fall to themselves because with the other kids that ain't really in the school of art, they run around, they social geniuses. So they can go outside and play to get their peace. The kids who find their peace in intellect, when they not in school, you know what I'm saying? They don't fit in. You know what I'm saying? So it's deep. And I know, like I tell you, I know, Khalil, like the German word for hell is Schul, right? In Germany, the word Schul which means hell, and the word school is the same shit. You know what I'm saying? So the word school come from the German word Schul, which means hell. You know what I'm saying? It's apparent a message with their psyche not being able to see expressions of people's faces as a child really deprives. Let me see. Expressions of people's faces in the child really deprives them socially. Yeah, it does. You know what I'm saying? Especially when we got a lot of parents that's like, you feel me? Motherfuckers don't talk to their kids. Really, like I really be having conversations with kids like that. Back in the day, some people used to get mad about, not like too much, but you gotta evolve your kids, my nigga. Like, like Boogie, he go to a gifted learning school. So Boogie came to me like 2 weeks ago. He was like, yo, dad, like, he said, I feel like I be thinking about stuff that other little kids don't be thinking about. And I was like what? You know what I'm saying? He was like, you know what I'm saying? He was like the water. And then that's when my daughter came out the back. She said, Daddy, is the water that we shit in, do we drink that water? And I just had to put my head down, like, because I got to tell her the truth. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to lie to the kids because that's the biggest mistake. We lie to our kids. Like, I ain't lie to them about Santa Claus. That shit not real. I didn't start telling my kids lies, and a lot of people don't get it. I'm not knocking you, but when we tell our kids lies, we build a foundation of lies with our children, and then when they get older, we already created the distrust. You know what I'm saying? So when she asked me, I let her know, like, okay, in Raleigh, for example, because an older dude, an older guy, you know what I'm saying, he had broke it down to me, my homegirl Pops, and he was saying that in school, they used to take the kids in Raleigh and shit to the plants. And he said, like, Raleigh, they go to the shit, like, in Smithfield. And they went to the plant, and he showed them that the water from Raleigh, they clean it, but they send it to Smithfield. The water from Smithfield go to, like, Chapel Hill. The water from there come to Raleigh. So we're recycling each other's shit water. And they're cleaning it and doing this shit, and they come back down our faucets and shit. And, yo, you should have seen how they was looking at me, like. And I was like, and when she finished, I was like, you want some water? And she was like, nah, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? But these are the things that we need to be telling our children so that they can grow up and solve this problem. You feel me? We didn't solve these problems. We put band-aids over these problems, our government. That's why we got this shit global warming. Like, yo, you see how hot it was, like 120 degrees, like we was like in Africa and on the West Coast and shit. And now that heat wave is in the middle and it's about to push his way to the East Coast. Shit crazy. But I want y'all to know that global warming isn't a disaster if you study science. There's like, you see this forest fire that's happening in the West Coast, the Dixie fire, it's not a natural disaster. In order for soil to get rich, the trees and stuff got to burn, and it leaves behind a certain rich in the soil. And in time, that soil gets richer because the farmers, when they done growing crops, they set their field on fire. And then they grow sweet potatoes and mush them in the ground, and that shit make it more nutrients. So this is a natural process been going on. It's been going on forever. You know what I'm saying? Just the fact that as man, we build on top of the environment. You know what I'm saying? We didn't live with the environment. We built on top of it. So when the environment going through its changes, so is our shit. You know what I'm saying? Nature don't care about if your house or your car there. You feel me? Like, people gonna understand why I always bring up nature. And at some point, y'all gonna see it. And that's why I say starting this week, I'm going back to certain vids of the morning convo. And I'm gonna show y'all, because I had a couple people say, well, why don't I show y'all these videos from the animal channels and show y'all? Because like when I be talking to y'all, I had a couple people hit me like, bro, it's not that we don't believe you, I think you genius, but why don't you show us these different animals and show us these different kingdoms and break it down to us while we watching it with you, and then our eyes can make a difference ourselves. And I said, you know what, that's genius, because I noticed last year when I did the videos, you know what I'm saying, it also was Corona, so I was getting thousands of views, so everybody was at home. But I think that's the next move. Let me see. It said, I don't believe in that, like, what man has not been around that long to know the planet's life cycles. Well, that's not true. That's not true at all. You know what I'm saying? That's what I mean on some science shit. The man has been around for hundreds of thousands of years. Animals been around plants been around for billions and trillions of years, right? Like, for example, our polar ice caps are here. The Warming Ice Age, the polar ice caps was like where Europe is and like where where Asia is, damn near, right? The world has a cycle. We tend to think like, okay, clear with that mindset, that time they only go back like Christianity in the aspect of respectfully, like that our logic that we understand today is because we've been taught to think that the world is only 5,000 years old. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Yeah, I realize, okay. But okay, I get what you're saying. Yeah. I see what you put. You saying, yeah. But I'm saying that, and not your logic. So let me just finish. But I get what you're saying because I agree with you. I realize what you said. I didn't get the whole point. You said, yeah. You said white man has. Yeah. Okay. You right. No, I got you. But I was gonna say that I'm gonna cause what you were saying, because I realized what you were saying is that you don't listen to them because, or to the sciences, or to the European sciences and shit, because they don't have enough knowledge of the planet, because they don't want to trust. You know, they don't know how long the planet life cycles are. So yeah, you're right. But just to finish what I was saying is that the world has been around for a long time, and that there are cycles that our ancestors studied. Like, you know, they said that in 2012 that things were going to change. When we say the world was going to end, sometimes people think that means that everything going to die. Sometimes it means that the world is going to change, like the climate and stuff like that and everything. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's important that people pay attention to that part. But yeah, you know, you're right. So when I be watching the news and I see a lot of people on the news and I see them talking about global warming and shit, it's like it's a natural occurrence. The only people that's worried about global warming is the people who can't take the heat and the people whose skin can't take it. You know what I'm saying? They can't deal with it. Because global warming is a problem. I'm not saying there's no such thing as global warming, because just us taking the gas out the earth and all of this shit that we be using, these natural gases, you know what I'm saying? If these natural gas, I always say, if this gas can run cars and shit, and if this electricity can turn shit on, then what the fuck do you think it's doing for the earth? Do you not think that this gas is probably what got the earth spinning, and these gas, this gas we be using, and these natural gases could be the same shit that keep the balance? You know what I mean? Like, it's a lot of shit. Let me turn my charger up real quick. I think that, hold on, y'all. I think that we have to be more responsible. Hold on, y'all. I gotta plug my phone up. I think that we gotta be what we doing as people. we clearly got to realize, we got to be real with ourselves because we the future. We are now. We're now and the kids the future. The people before us, that generation, they dropped the ball because they got money and they went tech, but they didn't do their job. Like BP and them, they didn't protect us. They just got that bag. You know what I'm saying? A lot of places, they didn't protect us. They just got that bag. So we got to fix this problem. Like right now, we got like 30 years of fixing for our kids, and if we don't fix this problem, we in trouble. You know what I'm saying? So we definitely got to be on it. I think that, and that's what I said for everybody who just came in, the earlier conversation I was talking about the water, and that they found 4 traces of this non-taste, non-smell virus or bacteria in the water that cause cancer. So I just wanted to bring that to y'all. So, you know, I think that one of the things is that we just have to be more this. And as the people that care about growing up, like I always said, it's sad, like, you know, I had these conversations, and I had a lot of people in the last 5 months kind of irritate me, like, bro, you judgmental. Man, I don't care. I'm not judgmental. I don't care what you do in your life. I just had these conversations with y'all so that we can go here and we can mature. And like I said this morning on my post, you know what I'm saying? When I became a man, I stopped doing childish things. And you know what I'm saying? And now that I'm a man, I put my toys away.